Brothers and sisters, welcome. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here, and I'm bringing you today my daily diary. What did I do on Friday, June 14th, Saturday the 15th, and Sunday the 16th of June of 2024? Well, I was started out in my office on Friday morning the 14th. Had to do some taping here in the studio, some pretty early taping, and days when I would be traveling, for example, I have to tape in advance. So I did some of that. Caught up on work at my desk. Lots of email work, actually, throughout the morning into the early afternoon on things like the following. Let's see, Florida, battling this Amendment 4, various gatherings taking place, educational seminars we're involved in. Information for the Council for National Policy, one of the big conservative groups I belong to. Connecting with various other pro-life leaders, getting our front lines updated. That's the section of our website that talks about all our travels. Communicating with Ballotpedia about some important election information. Communicating with one of our faithful volunteers who does a lot of work for us across the country. Some communications with administration and staff about staff management, expanding our advisory boards, both medical and also media advisory boards that we have. We're adding some new people to those. Talking with Rachel's Vineyard about fundraising matters, getting the congressional data up to date, making sure we have all the latest data of our friends in Congress, getting an opinion piece written and distributed, doing some communication with Sister Aditi, and also liturgical videos online, interviewing pro-life leaders, inviting them to come on our programs, some booking of media for me to go on their programs, and finally some communications with someone who has some expert information about third trimester abortions. They do occur, and so forth. I wrote a column in the middle of the morning. I wanted to do an opinion piece. You should see it on Newsmax, newsmax.com. An opinion piece about the Supreme Court decision that had just come out about the chemical abortion case. And then proceeded to work together with different staff during the rest of the midday portion of the day into the early afternoon, some desk work on the matters I was just talking about, and also getting ready for my trip. I got picked up at 3 p.m. to go to the Orlando airport, did some phone calls in the car on my way there, and then had work at the gate and on the plane, again on my computer with these different tasks. 5:40 flight up to Detroit, Michigan. There's a very convenient airport hotel there that I then checked into and actually went right to bed. I was pretty tired by that time and slept over that night there in Detroit. Next morning, got up nice and early and walked down back into the airport terminal and caught a flight to Madison, Wisconsin. That's where my destination was because I spoke on Saturday the 15th at the Wisconsin March for Life. So as soon as I got there, one of the officials of Pro-Life Wisconsin, one of the statewide groups, picked me up. We started to talk, we started to plan, and then I did some settled into the hotel, did some work with my staff by phone, and also with another key deacon that we collaborate with in leadership. Had a phone conversation with him, and then met with the legislative director of Pro-Life Wisconsin there at the hotel. He gave me an update on the latest battles with the pro-life issues, both in the legislature and in the courts. Then we got ready to go over to the site of the March for Life, which was, of course, the Capitol. We were right next to it. We walked over. And I set up my table of literature, Priests for Life literature, and began interacting both with the leaders of the Pro-Life Wisconsin, the organizers of the march, and also interacting with the people as they arrived. And I always love to do that. I like to be the first one there and the last one to leave these various events. So we were there and talking with pro-life people from across the state of Wisconsin. The rally began. There were various speakers. I was the keynote speaker and gave a a talk about the importance of this year's elections, the importance of Wisconsin in that whole scenario. Gave the people the prayer card that we have, the election prayer, had them all say it together. It was a great time. And then we marched. We marched around the Capitol several times, symbolizing the movement that we are part of and the importance of our lawmakers in advancing the protection of the unborn. Now, once all of that was over, I spent a lot more time talking with the various people there that had attended the march who wanted to come up and say hello to me. A lot of local pro-life activists, people who run pregnancy centers, people who are part of Silent No More, people who are part of healing ministries after abortion, activists, sidewalk counselors, political and legislative people, and so forth. One of my staff members was there who works and lives in Wisconsin. He works for us, has worked for us for a long time with data management, and so then he was there with his two boys, and we, the four of us, walked over to a local pizza place later in the afternoon, got some pizza, caught up with one another. Then I went back to the hotel. By that time it was getting late, and I did some final communication with our executive director, some other emails and work there, and then went to bed. And then Sunday the 16th, I had to get up early, go to the airport. When I say early, I mean like 4 o'clock in the morning. And went to the airport, got on my flight. Now, I did various work. Going back to the emails I did on Saturday, some communication with leaders about coming to our office. Trip plans for on my review, work for the news show, and some work in regard to Life Dynamics. Sunday, did some work while waiting for the flight and on the flight, media planning, follow-ups from the Wisconsin March that we just had. And of course, it was Father's Day, so I got a lot of Father's Day greetings, being a spiritual father, responding to those. Then I went into a zone of delays and more delays. I flew from Madison to Atlanta, but then once I got to Atlanta, the connecting flight was delayed, and then it was delayed some more, and then it was delayed some more, and then we got on the flight, and then we had to get off the flight again because there was a mechanical problem. By the time I got back home, the whole afternoon for which I had planned fruitful work here in the office was gone. It was a 4-hour delay. And I was getting tired too. So I did some work there in the airport and reading and phone calls and work on my emails. But then I was just closing my eyes on the final flight back to Orlando, which, like I say, was like 4 hours late. Got here, went to the store and got a couple of things I wanted to get for dinner, made some dinner, and went to bed. There it was. June 14, 15, and 16 of 2024. Very important, friends, that we have transparency, accountability, especially if you're supporting a ministry. I think you deserve to know what those ministry leaders are doing from day to day. Shows the commitment to the work. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.